This is the correction video for the Chapter 2 assessment test for CPM. Problem number 1 is asking us about the area and perimeter of a rectangle with a width of 7 meters and a length of twice that amount. So I'm going to begin with drawing a rectangle, and I'm going to give it the dimension that I do know, which is 7 meters. That's the width. I know that the length is twice that amount. Twice means 2 times as many. So what is 7 times 2? 7 times 2, of course, is 14. So now I have a length, which is 14 meters. If I'm looking for the area, I could draw 7 columns and 7 rows and count all the squares, but that would take a lot of time. We know that there's a shorter way of doing this, and that is to take the length and multiply by the width. So we set up that problem, and we get 98. 98 what? Well, the measurement is meters. So we're going to have 98 square meters, because if I drew in all of those lines, obviously we would have squares there. For the perimeter, I've got 7 meters on this side and 14 on that side, and I know that 7 plus 14 is 21. I have another 7 and another 14 here, so that's another 21. So the perimeter is really 2 groups of 21 meters. That, of course, comes to 42, and therefore the perimeter is 42 meters only, because we are measuring distance, the distance around the rectangle. Problem number 2, greatest common factor of 6, 9, and 12. Now, here's a shortcut for this one. I really only need to find the factors of 6, because since I'm looking for a common factor, it's got to be a factor of 6. And 6 may have the fewest or one of the fewest number of factors. Of course, 1 and the number itself are always factors, so I've got a 1 and a 6. 6 is even. 2 times 3 is 6. And because there's nothing between 2 and 3, I know that I've come to the end of the factors for 6. And I do my little U-turn here, and then I can begin checking. Does 6 go into 9? Is 6 a factor of 9? Well, obviously it isn't, so it can't. Starting with the largest, going to the smallest, because I'm looking for the greatest common factor. Well, is 3 a factor of 9? Yes, it does go in. Does 3 also go into 12? Yes. So 3 is the greatest common factor, and that is B, and I circle it neatly. Moving on to problem 3. Explain how to find the area of the rectangle using square centimeters as your units. 12 square centimeter tiles are shown in the rectangle. The point here is that not all of the tiles are shown. If I were to draw them all in, then I would have a certain number of tiles, and that would be the area of the rectangle. I can do this without having to draw them all in, though, because I can tell 1, 2, 3, don't count that one, I already have, 4, 5. I can tell that this rectangle is 5 centimeters wide. I can also tell going from top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come over here to continue, don't count that one because that was 6, 7, and 8. And I know it's 8 centimeters long now. Just like in the problem up above, I can take the 5, multiply by the 8, and I will get 40, and that is 40 square centimeters, because we are talking about area, and each of these represents a square centimeter, named for its shape, for a square, and that's how we always measure area, talk about area. We'll be right back with page 2.